This is Susan Woods. Thank you very much for selecting the 20 Simple Steps to Starting a 501c3 Nonprofit Organization on-demand webinar. This is a brief preview of the webinar that you will have an opportunity to download from www.susanwoodsconsultingservices.com if you are impressed with the preview. The purpose of the preview is to give you an opportunity to see how the on-demand webinars work, and also to see if this is something that you would like to use as a learning resource. So let's get started. About Susan Woods, or about me. I started a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2003. It is called Comprehensive Community-Based Solutions Incorporated. Since 2007, I have facilitated what I like to call easy nonprofit classes for over 700 people since 2007. I am a 3-time graduate of Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I earned a bachelor's degree in business administration, a Master of Arts degree in business education, and a Master of Business Administration degree. My home is Clio, South Carolina. Now, the types of services that we provide through Susan Woods Consulting Services include classes, workshops, webinars, all to help nonprofit professionals or aspiring nonprofit professionals start, fund, and manage their own nonprofit organizations successfully. We provide the following types of services: 2-hour classes, 4-hour classes, on-demand webinars, private consulting services, and 501c3 application services. Our logo is a compass because we want to be your guide to successfully starting, funding, and managing nonprofit organizations. Let's talk about the on-demand webinars. You may have heard of on-demand webinars, or you may have already completed on-demand webinars with other companies. But in a nutshell, on-demand webinars provide a convenient and cost-efficient way to learn new information around your schedule, in the privacy of your home, and at a pace that is comfortable for you. You can also complete the webinars as many times as you like during a specified time period. For example, if you choose to purchase this webinar, the 20 Simple Steps to Starting a 501c3 Nonprofit Organization, if you choose to purchase this on-demand webinar, you will have until September the 30th to complete the webinar as many times as you like for only $30. The webinar agenda. Of course, this is a preview, so we won't go through the entire agenda, but I just wanted to let you know what you will learn in the on-demand webinar. We're going to talk about the definition of a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the advantages of the 501c3 designation, the disadvantages of the 501c3 designation, and then the 20 simple steps that you will use to start your own 501c3 nonprofit organization, the waiting period after you have submitted your application to the Internal Revenue Service. Then we'll have a brief review and closing thoughts. But again, since this is a preview of the webinar, we will not cover all of the topics listed here. What is a 501c3 nonprofit organization? Well, a 501c3, and please remember that code correctly, because this is something that you will be discussing or learning about from now on. 501c3. It's the most advantageous category of nonprofits because you can attract tax-deductible financial support from the public and various grants. That means you have a wide range of options available to secure funding for your nonprofit venture. there are 25 legal nonprofit codes that the IRS has established. However, the 501c3 code is the most requested. Advantages of nonprofits: you are exempt from taxes, you have the right to solicit funds, low postage rates, a legal life of its own, continuous existence, and fiscal year flexibility. During the on-demand webinar that you purchase for only $30, I will explain each of those topics in more detail. The disadvantages of nonprofits: out-of-pocket expenses, incorporation fees, legal paperwork, lack of control, little flexibility, scrutiny by outsiders, and time-consuming. Once again, these topics will be explained in more detail if you purchase the webinar for only $30. 20 simple steps. There are 20 steps to starting a 501c3 nonprofit organization. If you follow these steps in the order listed, you should be successful. I created this webinar, prior to creating the webinar, I created a class, and I called the class, or I named the class, 20 Simple Steps to Starting a 501c3 Nonprofit Organization, because when I started my nonprofit organization back in 2003, I didn't have any idea about what I was doing. I made so many mistakes that were time-consuming, frustrating, and some of the mistakes really cost a lot of money. So once I successfully completed the application and was awarded with the 501c3 designation by the Internal Revenue Service, people started asking me, well, how did you get started? What did you do to start a nonprofit organization? So one day I decided to sit down and write the steps to starting a nonprofit organization, using my mistakes as a guide to create the steps, the 20 steps that I find to be the correct steps in the right order to help people start their own nonprofit organizations. I've been teaching this class now since 2007, and the response has been excellent from people who have used the steps to start their own nonprofit organizations. I use these steps now when I am hired as a consultant to complete the paperwork for other organizations and churches, and so far I have a 100% approval rating from the Internal Revenue Service. So these steps really work. To learn more about the steps, or to learn the steps actually, please visit my website at www.susanwoodsconsultingservices.com, or you can visit www.easynonprofitclasses.com, or please feel free to call me at 704-968-2769 to order your on-demand webinar for the 20 Simple Steps to Starting a Nonprofit Organization. The cost is only $30. You will be able to complete the class or the webinar in the privacy of your own home, around your schedule, as many times as you like, until September 30th, 2013. Thank you for taking the opportunity to preview the on-demand webinar for the 20 Simple Steps to Starting a 501c3 Nonprofit Organization. The purpose of this preview was, one, to give you an opportunity to see how this really works as an on-demand webinar, to give you an opportunity to see how the information is laid out in the presentation, and to see if this method of learning is what you need to be successful. I'm Susan Woods. Thank you for your business. and have a great day.